Hello, it's time to talk about the foreplay UI itself. We'll try to keep this at a top level and then drill down into the features in individual other videos. So when you launch the app, it will come up in this aspect ratio, which is for Toho scope. They're the they're the guys that made Godzilla, Toho, the studio, and this was their theater aspect ratio for showing the 50s and 60s Godzillas, no, the 60s. Anyhow, that's the shape of it. It's not 16 by 9, but I just like it. So, as I said, here we are. The title bar, we'll take a look at it first. We'll have the version of foreplay at the beginning here, and the current linked version of MAME with its compile date. Normally this shouldn't change for most people. I use MAME's GitHub repo and build multiple times during the day, so it's helpful to me to see the actual time that I made the build. So following that is the total number of games in the game list currently being filtered. And so this 27,000 is all of MAME's machines minus non-working mechanical games, which would, if I enabled that, would bump it up to 42,000 or something like that. So by default, those are hidden. And after that, you'll also have your favorites. So one of the features of foreplay, like MAME UI before it, is that you can select any game you want and use Control D, and it will add it to the favorites. And in my methodology for display, I place all of the favorites, so all 413 of them are at the top of the game list. So if I hit the end button right now, I drop down to the last favorite, and then if I hit end one more time, I go to the end of the natural game list down there with ZZZYX game. So if same thing happens with home. If you hit it once, you go to the top of the natural game list, and home again takes you to the top of yours. Okay, so you can see all of the icons presented here over on the left in kind of a classic front-end style. The art area over here contains, by default, the snap view, anything that you've got wrapped up in your snap directory in the MAME folder structure. And then you can toggle between any other art types that you've got. I usually maintain snaps and flyers I like. So if you left click, you get the flyer. And you can go down through it, and if a game doesn't have a flyer, it will head back to its snap. So, okay, back to snap. So, also, you can see underneath there is a wallpaper. This is a background, and I've got about 140 of them that I cycle through, and foreplay has the ability to choose a random one on each start. And one of its nice features is it also has the ability to choose an auto theme, so it will detect the type of colors and build the coloring of the game list off it. Right now that's turned off for this. I'm using the grayscale theme. So I think that's about it for this top level look. And you've got your scroll bar over here if you want to. I normally use a trackball, so I don't have a scroll wheel, but that is supported too. And you can also use gestures on a touch screen to go through these things. So as you can see, it's pretty quick. I'm just holding down the down arrow right here. And now I'll hold down the page down, and it goes and goes and goes. But we don't want to get too far into the feature set. So as I said, this app has always been keyboard centric, and so you're not going to see too many menus on here or access with the mouse. So your major button, your major key, I should say, is F1, and this is going to bring up the config screen. So let's go ahead and do that. And there we go. It's all on one page, no tabs. I tried that. I didn't like the way it navigated. So here's all of the information in one fell swoop. And again, all of this information is available in the user guide, which is installed by default into the same directory as the exe. You can access it here if you want to. We won't do that quite yet. So in here, you can change the game list font, the data overlay font. You can alter the background. You can choose a random one. So if we choose random ones, you can see it changing here. And you can also browse and go pick one. Okay, and then you've got your choice for favorites modes, games only, which would be the game list by itself, favorites and games, the combo that I've shown you, or favorites only. And so those are selectable here. You can change all of the various colors for the list, as well as the thumb scroll over here on the right, and whatnot. So do I want to go through all of these right yet? Not quite yet. So let's just go ahead and talk about some of the other major things that don't necessitate their own videos. So in here you'll also have some information about the version of 4Play that you're using when it was compiled last. Same thing with MAME. And this is the metrics that I track when you launch the program. I'm always interested in seeing how quick I can get the thing to go. And so right now on my 12700K, it launches between 1.3 and 1.4 seconds, depending actually on the background, interestingly enough. And then you've got a link to the home page that you can click, and it'll take you there. Let's see, anything else in here? You've got the reset to defaults. If you get too wacky, you can get back via this. And the run benchmark, we'll talk about that a little bit later, but it kicks off my 32 or 36 game benchmark that I've been doing for a very long time, and gives you your own readout on how fast your machine is and how it would compare. The key bindings over here don't really need their own video, but most of the keyboard shortcuts you can alter here. They're surfaced. The main 6 ones are surfaced. You can also alter the config file. It's a text file that contains all of those settings. You can do that yourself if you want to. And let's see, these guys we can talk about a little bit later. And then the art area has got border opacity and art opacity. So if we change these down to something a little bit less, you can see the preview kicks in, and it decreases the opacity right there. And if we, well, let's leave the border that way and click OK here. And then you can see that it becomes a little see-through, and depending on the background image, this can create some nice effects. Okay, so we'll go back to F1. And let's see, anything else in here? I think that'll do it for now. Those are the main UI elements when you go into the app. Okay, thanks.